A cop charged with attempted murder.
Help her? Nah, she taking me in the hospital. Come here. You got a gun. What I do? What I do? You got a gun. I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun.
What did you do?
210. 210. Start me another unit.
What did you do? Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Carr2Carr. I'm Ramon.
And hi, I'm Dana, and we'll answer the question, are bad officers being protected or removed? Ramon, what are your thoughts?
I think both. I think that the police department has a system. And I hate to say the blue wall of silence or whatever people term it or want to call it, there is that. And so sometimes bad officers are protected for a number of reasons. And I'm going to steal some of yours because I know this is what you're going to say. You're probably going to say friends and family. You're probably going to say something dealing with stats, because those are two of the major ones. You know, if there's a police officer that are bringing in a lot of arrests, a lot of tickets, things of that nature, they're going to be protected. If they're a part of the friends and family, meaning that they have, you know, a cousin or an uncle or a close friend that are a part of the staff, they're going to be protected. So those are two of the main reasons that I know that some bad officers are in fact being hidden and they're not being punished. I know a major one too is that some supervisors are afraid to discipline. You know, inaccurate discipline or the fear of discipline, or I think supervisors look at it the wrong way, because discipline is actually a form of correction, a form of helping someone get better. And I think that that needs to happen at its earliest level. I saw that just being in internal affairs that there's some police officers that may do something minor and it needs to be corrected so that minor thing doesn't become something major. Let's say something as simple as the broken window theory that police officers like to talk about a lot. Oh, I have to stop this person from throwing rocks because if they keep throwing rocks, they're gonna start fighting. If they fight, they're gonna shoot. If they shoot, they're gonna kill. You know, the broken window theory. You know, if you steal, you're gonna rob. If you rob, you're gonna kill. So if we take that same thought process that we enact on the community and we do it in house, we'll have better police officers that are more.
I
Their
agree.
behavior is better.
And I would like to just add, to that as you pointed to the leadership level, when it's tolerated at the highest levels, and sometimes you'll see a press conference and you'll see a police chief or so justifying that particular behavior, as opposed to holding that officer accountable and reinforcing the policies of the department. In addition to that, you pointed to supervisors minimizing the discipline or not coaching that person and reinforcing the policies. So you have reassignments when an officer should be terminated or so, assigned to other departments and generally in better positions than they were before to protect them. So you see all type of things, letting the investigations expire past the 180 days or whatever the limit to conduct an investigation is in a particular state. You see those type of things. So there are some officers that are protected, but in some departments more than others. You do, because I know a department in Florida that to me is just it has a culture of protecting officers. Jacksonville PD is one of the ones that come to my mind, but
Not to call anybody out.
not
obviously.
to call anybody out, but it's just that they have a lot of cases that make the news. They have millions of interactions that I'm sure are good, but when they mess up and don't hold officers accountable, you see it. It's really, really bad. So
I agree. We're very well trained, and one of the things that the community always goes to when a situation happens is we need training, we need training, we need training. By and large, I think, and I'm going to go out here on a limb, 90% of police departments are very well trained. And I look at South Florida, we're very well trained. We know right from wrong, we know what actions to take. And, I just think that officers are, at the end of the day, we're just regular people that have a job, that are trained. And so, whatever bias you have or however you feel about someone, that helps you move to that comfort zone of doing whatever it is you're going to do. I'm often asked, is there racism in police work? There is. Whoever says there's not is lying, because there is. Because if there's racism in America and the majority of the police officers come from America, you're going to have racist people in the department. You're going to have people that steal, kill, in the department. It's just who we are as a community. So you get your people from the community. And I think that we have to do a better job of, once we see it, calling it out and disciplining people. And one of the biggest obstructions to discipline is the union. Just being someone who was big in the union and, ran for the biggest position in the union, I see it. I see where the union needs to take this stance where I support my officer in all their rightness. And their wrongness, I'm not going to support it. So that's one of those areas that I think that we fall short. I think the chief of police should do the same thing. I support my police officer in all their rightness, and their wrongness, I'm going to call it out. And I think it's okay. I think that you won't lose the troops, and I think that that's what happens, that people are afraid of, I say people, mean leadership, is afraid of losing the troops by saying that they're going to discipline the troops. And instead just saying, hey, listen, as long as you're right, I got your back. And so the first thing that probably should happen from the chief and the union side could probably be something as simple as, hey, listen, I saw the footage, or I heard what happened, and it's disappointing. I don't know Officer so-and-so to be that person, but if it comes out that they did X, Y, and Z, we're going to hold them accountable to our departmental standards.
I agree. And if the union, what I expect from a union in those instances is, obviously, if a person is a dues-paying member, then you have to represent them. If that's a part of the contract of their membership, you have to represent them, but you don't have to give a statement of support. And that's what I just expect as a member, and we're going to assist them with their defense, and we'll let the governing bodies decide, whether it was lawful. That's in the ones where you feel that is something wrong. Just don't have an opinion on it. Just, support the person because they're a dues-paying member. But obviously,
the only thing is, not to interject here, but the only thing is that sometimes the union's forced to give a statement, especially if they have a relationship with the media. So the media may reach out to them. So they may not have
I told them to give a statement. We're going to support them because they're a dues-paying member, but not give a statement of saying they're right, their actions was according to policy, but just say you're going to support them because they're a dues-paying member, meaning you're just going to help them with their legal defense, but not support the actions. And some unions support actions that are not legal, ethical, moral. You don't have to do that.
I agree. I'll tell you this, just like I said, just being the president, vice president, almost every position in the Black Police Officers Organization, and being an employee rep for the Fraternal Order of Police, and just, running for the position to try to be president of the organization there. I would tell people all the time when I rep someone, okay, they want to suspend you for 150 hours. Let's see how we can mitigate that to 75 hours, because especially if your actions, if you did something wrong, you deserve to be punished for them. You deserve some sort of accountability for it. And sometimes the fines or the hours are too great. So that's when I would try to mitigate them. But other than that, I'm always the first to say, hey, listen, you in fact did this. So when we go in here, let's see whether they're right and wrong in their investigation, and then let's try to mitigate maybe some of the punishment. But I think that's what didn't make a lot of people want me to represent them, because I'm not going to try to get rid of it, because at the end of the day, we need to be held accountable for our actions. And I think that's why you see a lot of different things happening. I mean, we got body cams today, and people act like we don't. They still do all this, and I say people, I mean police officers do a lot of negative stuff as if the body camera's not there, like they're not on stage.
If the supervisor's not looking and holding them accountable for it, might as well not be there. Body cam is only good as the accountability that comes with it.
I agree. Let me tell you, just my last assignment was the commander of a body-worn camera, and just reviewing thousands of videos, you'll see police officers are not perfect, but there's some corrective measures that I would see, that I would email the first line supervisor and say, hey, listen, I noted this from your police officer. This is not an egregious violation of the department orders, but there's some training that needs to be done here. And I think that if that is continued in all departments, then you'll see a better department, that someone's there that's really looking to say, okay, this happened or that happened. And I've even wrote some reprimands from people that have been egregious in their actions from just the body-worn camera footage that I saw, that their supervisor and their chain of command didn't do anything about.
Yeah. And to your point with the body cam footage, one of the things that kind of gets under my skin is I'll see, say, a police chief giving a press conference, and they'll say, well, I didn't see, if it's an allegation of excessive force, and they'll say, well, I didn't see any excessive force. Everything was according to policy. I don't see any policy violations. But during the investigation, it was learned that the use of force that was displayed on the camera, as opposed to what was written on the arrest form, were different. You don't see that as a problem? And that's not held accountable, because that's actually lying on an official document. So I hate to see someone justifying use of force, but not dealing with the line on the official document, because that is truly a problem. So I would definitely like to see that being dealt with, because that is a big, huge red flag.
It is, again, and I think to sum up what we're saying is that officers need to be held accountable, just like the citizens are being held accountable, because that's the expectation. And then when we're not held accountable, I don't care how many toy drives, I don't care how many backpacks and book bags and bicycle giveaways or turkey giveaways that happen, you're going to lose the community that you serve, that you're trying to partnership with, if there's no accountability. So I do believe that there are bad officers that are hidden, and I think that there's some officers who just make some minor mistakes that need correction.
Well, for sure. So we'll leave it at that, and thank you for watching another episode of Carr2Carr Podcast. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and give us feedback. We appreciate it. Until next time.